everyone. I am super excited to be back here. And today I have beautiful Toni. Look at her. She's gorgeous inside out. I have been wanting to interview her for some time. She's my dear new friend. And I am so excited to be able to present you. And let me connect with Instagram. Okay, let's see. Okay, so Toni, Toni is someone I'm getting to know her. I have an honor to get to know her a little bit from my community. And if I were to express Toni, I would say she's someone like the big sister with like a big blanket of velvet who would take care of you really well. This is the image of you, Toni. You're such a beautiful person inside out. And I feel so much compassion and love from you. And that's why I wanted to connect with you and share your story of your raw vegan journey. So,
Oh,
welcome to my channel.
that was beautiful. Thank you, Kiko. So
Oh,
nice
my
to be
pleasure.
here. And yeah, what a blessing it is. So grateful, super grateful. And yeah, we've shared quite a few conversations on a few topics, which has been lovely. And you've been really supportive, and I really appreciate you. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to
Yeah, I
get
want to
to know.
mention that I thought that you have the way you reached out was so elegant, you know, and I'm so grateful for our community, right? That I have been on this journey for 22 years, almost alone most of the
Wow.
time. And I had a hard time, sharing some difficulties in my life because it's very easy to point on, oh, because you're vegan, like this guy.
Yeah.
And now I have this beautiful community. And Tony, you're amazing. If you have seen the description of today, it was prepared by Tony. Usually I'm the one who prepares it. Tony prepared everything. And that's why when I said that, when you meet Tony, you feel like you're wrapped in a beautiful velvet cover.
Oh.
So beautifully. Like I feel like you just get it. You're a big sister who takes care of it. And I know you're vegan activist who's taking care of rescued animals, and I really appreciate and highly respect your hard work on that. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. No, I really appreciate that, because it's interesting that you said about big sister. Many people say like mother, like a mother role. Like a lot of I've got younger friends who, I support and I love them, and it's I do feel sometimes I step into that role a bit too much, and I'd love. I shared to you on the private messages like. Just want to be taken care of too, like I want that. As you know, I'm looking for my partner in life, and romance, and I miss all of that. And I was sharing that'd be nice to just be taken care of, but that will come in divine timing. I'm just
Oh
sometimes
my God.
resisting.
Did you hear? There are many single men who would dream to be with a beautiful woman like Tony. So yeah, you heard that she is single and available.
I need to put it out there, I think, a bit more, because my number of men is very small in Phuket, especially because of the lifestyle I lead, and the type of man I am looking for is I'm trying not to say to myself it's very rare, but it kind of is, it's a unique soul. But I know they're out there. If I'm out there, we're all out there. You found your beautiful soul, so it's possible. But yeah, that has been a definitely, we're human, like you said. We go through, we sometimes don't want to share our shadows at times, and we are on a journey. It's not all bliss just because you live in a healthy lifestyle. And even when some health issues come up, we're not robots, we're not superhuman. Although I talked with Sky that we have an advantage, we do have that edge on most things, which I'm super grateful for. And I just shared earlier on the call with Sky our live call that we have every Tuesday at 12 noon Thailand time. Um, we talk about a lot of topics, but this one was about, just because I don't numb anymore, and this is as well what we're going to be sharing my journey. I don't numb and use food to escape, to numb. It's actually sometimes more challenging when things come up and you're like, oh no, I can't use that. I don't want to use it though. I personally don't. I want to feel it and get in it, but it's super uncomfortable at times. And I can see why people do turn to something that will just even take that edge off, soothe a little bit. But I've got on this path to not do that. My path is, some may say it's extreme, but it's because when you get to the lowest points with depression and anxiety and can't function, you don't fit in, you don't belong, you're having all these thoughts. I'm like, I can't even do, if I went to like alcohol and drugs, I cut out alcohol 15 years ago, maybe even longer now.
15 years. So you haven't drunk
I haven't
alcohol?
drunk at all, no, because I just felt, I felt it was demonic, and I felt like my energy I was already struggling with my 20s, my thoughts and feelings. And it amplified it. It's a depressant. So the next day I would always, and it would take me, the healthier I got, the longer it had taken for me to get to get back to normal. Like I just felt so much more low when I was hungover. I hated that feeling, especially as you get cleaner and you're on this path. And I feel like I've always been a little different thoughts to some of my people who were around me when I was younger, because I was like, who are we, and I was looking at spiritual books at a young age, and I'm a seeker. I didn't realize until late 30s the type of person I am, because I have come from a low income family. We didn't have a lot. It was a council estate, lack of opportunities, a small city. Family didn't know any better, but we didn't really, it's not until I went traveling that I saw there's a different world out there, there's a different lifestyle, there's different support networks, there's opportunities that you wouldn't think of. So I already knew that there was something more for me and something different, in the sense of, and you, as you know, as the raw vegan, when you're going on just me going, even I did it gradual, or I was like vegetarian, vegan, and I never set out on, I never knew what I was gonna, it was just a natural progression. But yeah, it's isolating, it's lonely at times, and I can imagine for you over 20 years
Yeah.
raw vegan, that is like, wow, like veganism was very challenging, or for many. So to be raw as well, that is a different, that is, wow. I'm really excited to interview you, because we're supposed to organize. We'll definitely get you on my channel. I want to know and delve deeper into your story.
Thank you. So take us back. What brought you, how did you discover raw vegan? When was it? And, all of that detail. You take us back from the beginning.
Yeah, I would say that it was really intuitive. I really was on the path of finding true, like, inner peace. That was my mission. I always felt life was hard. So I always felt like I was super sensitive, and I didn't understand it. In the 20s, I used to have so much empathy for animals. I couldn't watch movies. I remember at school when the Jurassic Park, the first one, and they put the cow inside the first run where the dinosaurs were. I was crying. That was my first experience of seeing an animal killed. They put this goat in, I think it was. And everyone looked at me like, oh my God, this girl's weird. And I knew I was just super sensitive with animals. And I always had this call to love animals or do something for animals. And so I thought I was going to go into veterinary. I wasn't 100% sure. I had a lot of ideas. I was very much how I am now. I like to do many things. I'm not just the one I try. They call it a multi-potentialite. Anyways, I just set on the path of animal, looking after it. So when I came to Thailand 15 years ago, first time, yeah, when I've been here full time 9 years, but 15 years ago was when I first.
Wow, it's been 9 years.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, it's flown by. I know. I'm a local. I'm one of the locals now.
Yeah, wow.
And then I I saw a lot of, so at the time, just to backtrack a little bit, so I already had a passion in health, and I already had a passion in with animals, and I couldn't, because I studied animal science at university, then I studied so animal science, and I also did health science
Animals.
as well.
Okay, I'm sorry. Animal science. What kind of job do you get
Yeah,
after
well,
doing
I
that?
actually shifted over to more welfare and legislation. I was super passionate about, and
That's so
I
you.
was going to be, I wanted to be an RSPCA inspector. I wanted to investigate people that were cruel to animals and I wanted to put in laws as well. I had a very big ambition of, so that was an idea. It was a goal, and it never transpired. Mainly because for some reason I couldn't get in through the interview process. I think I got through like 2,500 applied. There was like, I think 6 jobs in the whole of England, and I got through to the last 12, and I didn't get the final 6. So I applied for that twice, and I didn't get. And I was like, "What is?" So I really was that destroyed.
Mm.
So I could see patterns in the past now how it destroyed my confidence. I was already. So I thought everything that I want to do, I don't seem to get. But looking back now, I was supposed to be here. You know, you look at the work, and I'm an
Yes.
entrepreneur now. I don't suit really working for somebody. So trust. One thing I will say to the audience is trust whatever's happening. And I still have to remind myself now, like there is a higher power that is guiding you. Do not resist it, just trust it. So I ended up getting more into the health space because of my mental health. I was not very healthy towards myself, and I was suffering from binge eating. So I actually overcompensated my eating disorder, overeating, binge eating, with exercise. So I was never overweight, but I would have a really unhealthy relationship
So you
with.
were always, I mean, because you're very fit now, but were you always fit like this?
Not as effortlessly as now. I used to put in the work. I was a trainer. I would teach 3 hours a day of these high impact exercise classes, but I would because I would yo-yo, I would undereat and then I would overeat, but a lot of it was filling a void in my emotions. I left home at 16, and I was pretty much on my own since 16. So I had this little, I had a lot of fear being alone, but I knew I didn't want to be in the family dynamics. It was not until I went traveling around 20 years old that I realized I didn't have the healthiest family. It was a very, it was a unique dynamic, but that I saw patterns why I was doing certain, never felt wanted, never felt no one. I didn't feel anyone. That was my big overriding story, was no one cared about me. So I did a lot of things on my own. I left at
Yeah,
16. I
16.
traveled at
That's
20.
very young. 16.
Yeah. So I went into the health space as well for mental well-being, but I also was super passionate about the fitness. But then I would have this overriding, sadly, this eating disorder of just binge eating, and I was always passionate about nutrition and how the body can thrive. But I did go towards, when I came to Thailand, the real big shift towards health and animals was I met a fruitarian in Thailand. It was volunteering at on a Soy Dog Foundation, one of the biggest in Asia. I volunteered there for 3 months, and I was doing that regularly over the few years, but this was my first time. And he was sat there. We was all sat around this table, and the founders was sit there eating of Soy Dog, wonderful people, and volunteers. And he had this big bunch of bananas. This was 15 years ago. And we were all there eating rice and chicken. And one of the girls said, "Oh, what you eating? Why are you eating all of those? Are you eating all of those 15 bananas?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm a fruitarian." And they're all just like, they didn't even say much, but they were talking about, interestingly, we were talking about the dog meat trade in China and how Soy Dog were actually stopping the importation of dogs going over to Vietnam and Cambodia, and that it used to be big in Asia, in Thailand. But they'd done a lot of eradication of this dog meat trade, but there were still importations going on. So I was like, this is disgusting. And he turned around and said something so significant that changed my whole trajectory of my life. He just said, I choose not to eat any animal because it's the same. You're appalled by these dogs being eaten, I feel the same way as cows, as chickens. There's no difference. And that just went, and everyone else just walked off. And I was fascinated by James. He's still my friend now. He lives here,
Wow.
and we hang out a lot. And I just was immersed into his lifestyle, into the fruit. And I didn't do it fully, but I was
Is he
learning
still a
about it.
fruitarian?
Fruitarian lifestyle, but
Still.
I didn't go fruitarian at that time. But
Right, but
he
he
went.
still continues fruitarian.
He's fruitarian. So
Wow.
he then said to me, try veganism, for the ethics. So he sent me like Earthlings. He sent me Freely the Banana Girl, Harley, Jojo Rider, all of those in the movement. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. So that was the first start of the path. And I thought, I never saw myself fully raw, but I was like, I'm happy to do a lot of raw. And I went back and I did Freely's lifestyle for a long time, for a good, so 15 years ago. So a good part of that was high raw, a good 6 years of it, I would say. And then it was in 2020 when I came up, so 2016, I moved over to Thailand, and I still didn't want to be fully raw, but I was very active. I was in the cycling space. I've done a lot of cycling, very active, enjoying pretty much one cooked meal a day. The rest was raw, and then some days I would have fully raw days. And then I'd split up. So I came over with my ex, my partner at the time, with 2 dogs. And then we split up in 2020, and I felt, it was my decision, but I seem to have this hold, like this bond I can't let go. And he actually finalized it, and I felt rejected. It was necessary, because he kept saying, well, what are we doing? We're back and forth, So he completed the breakup, and I was just so alone, so frightened. I went into this dark space, and I felt like it was another awakening, a bit like going into the vegan space, because I forgot to share as well, when I went vegan, that's when I dropped the alcohol. So I was like, no alcohol, because Freely was talking about about alcohol, and it made sense. I was already connecting the dots prior, but I couldn't fully. I was doing it on like just building when I'd go out, I had no confidence, like to dance, as many people do. They want to drink. So she shared something about how it can actually, I think it wasn't even Freely, it was someone who inspired me and said, go out and party so hard with no alcohol and just see how no one cares. Like, go out, have a great time. So I did loads of these. One thing I like doing experiments, like social experiments. And I just go out, and I was just dancing, and everyone's like, she's drunk. And I get in my car after the end of the night, and they're all like, she's drunk. I said, I didn't even have a drop of alcohol. And I was still having a great time and able to feel good the next day, get to bed at a reasonable time. So as you clean up and move through this, I just felt early nights were just better. So I stopped going out. I rather do other activities with friends, and just started to become more conscious. And I was doing a lot of meditation, and then I really delved deeper into the spiritual path when I broke up in 2020, when I actually did the juice cleanse. I really went inwards and meditated for like 2 to 4 hours every day. And I was like, this is a 40-day juice cleanse that opened up a whole new world. And it was like, I am not going back to cook food. This is just, I've seen too much. It's like another layer's being shredded. It's like, I can see now my path. And then I interacted a beautiful soul, because I was alone again. I feel like it's a similar space as I am in now. Like, it's quite a pattern of mine where I'm like, oh my God, I get attachment. I feel rejected. Wounds are coming up. The trauma wounds of like on your own, rejection. So I ended up meeting my last partner, and we were together, and we just recently on and off for the past year, but solidified it this year. And even now it's like I'm in that pain, that darkness again, but this time it feels really heavy and dark. But the difference being, and even with the last one, was there's no addictions anymore. There's no going towards suppressing. So I'm healing. I'm really getting like I'm getting deeper on this this healing path of my trauma, my wounds that have not been heard. You know, a lot of them is just we've been suppressing for so many years. We've just, you know, numbing, and I just, one thing I can take away in this when I go through dark periods is like I'm so grateful I'm not doing all of that, because adding that extra layer on, even though it can be soothing, for me now it's just it just be torment, torture. It would go against my soul. It would not. I just don't, I can't do it. I can't possibly do it. I wouldn't know. I'd be frightened to see, you know, what would happen. So I don't let I keep my rituals. I'm very, I feel like having anchors in place no matter what you're going through. So if I can share anything that would give you any relief, is to keep your self-care strong. That's one thing I've really prioritized since going raw vegan, is self-care and love for myself, the morning rituals, the evening rituals, with meditation, with eating nourishing foods, not numbing with them. I mean, there'll be times I eat a little bit heavier, but I allow that. It's intentional now. I'm fully,
Mm-hmm.
as much as I can, intentional. And that is the difference with raw. I feel like it opens up this whole new world of, even though, like I say, I'm human, I feel it's a deeper, it's like a more of a, it's like an experience of it's just expansion that my soul truly needs, and it's just been, yeah, even though, even like I said, I shared with the messages, it's like I'm in my pain right now, I'm in a lot of heaviness, but at the same time I've come so far to what I used to do and used to be. I mean, my binges were so, like, I look back, I used to spend, I was so, no, when I had no money, I'd like 50 to 100 pound binge episodes. I don't
Wow.
know if you can convert that, but maybe it's
Yeah, yeah,
like
it's quite heavy.
$100, and I would buy like big chocolate bars. All my friends back home knew what I was like 3 or 4 250-gram fruit and nuts.
You know, I have to say, when I went to London, I there was a very famous donut, vegan donut, just below where we stayed. Was my husband. This vegan donut. I mean, this is very exciting for vegans, right? To find a vegan donut, because
Vegan
it's very rare. It was the most disgusting donut ever, but my husband loved it so much. It's just pure sugar
sugar
and oil,
fat,
and it
yeah.
was, I think it's costed 7 or 8 pounds, which is like $15 or something. It was heavy and it was big, like
Wow.
this.
Yeah, it's, and then when I went to America, their portion size are even bigger, and I was like, "Oh wow, this is." I used to get the big American breakfast where you get pancakes as well as the cooked breakfast. Oh my good, yeah. If any, honestly, if anyone would know how I used to be like to what I am now, it's like you honestly do not know what I have like had to let go of. Like, it's been like it was so severe. Like, I look back at 2, 3, even 4 times a week, massive binge eating. But average, I was always eating just unhealthy. So no wonder my mind. We all know that the mind, the gut, and the brain is connected. So no wonder why I'm dropping in serotonin after a binge. You know, you get that high and then the low, and it's just much more, I would say, a lot more balanced now. But yeah, it's not taking
Mhm.
away what I go through, but it's definitely for me, if I feel so blessed to have really worked on that pattern, that addiction. And that's what I help others with their addictions, because it all kind of falls under the same, but food obviously is one of the biggest ones, but most acceptable and not realized. And I feel
Mm.
this is what I feel it could be even worse, because this is holding so many people back, putting so many people in pain. Some come to me out of desperation or inspiration, mostly desperation. And my goal is to not get them to that point. Inspired now, whilst you're still fairly, I mean, I didn't have any major health concerns. I mean, before vegan, I was B12 deficient, I was iron deficient, I was struggling with my periods, my menstrual cycle. It's just coming up again. What's happening now? My hormones are shifting, but I feel what's happening now is I'm actually increasing my omega 3s now. I was all predominantly fruit, and I'm still high fruit. I love it, and I mean, I've got a lot of choice here in Thailand, but I am bringing in more fats and omega 3s you can mix with fruit, because I was always trying to be cautious with, as you go through this path, you see what works, what doesn't. Fruits and fats together can make you feel a little, lose that energy. And I would say I'm quite sensitive now. Some things I'm very robust. But I would say I have to be careful with what I mix, not too many mixtures on a plate. But omega 3s, yeah, it's been a big difference. I've noticed it in my skin and my energy levels, definitely, and my hormones. So, like going through my menstrual cycle, I was noticing a dip of estrogen, and my dopamine was really, this is time. And I've been noticing this pattern. I got a period app around 10 years ago, maybe a bit less. And it was 10 years ago. My ex said to me, as they do, when you're having one of your episodes where I don't know, I'm sure everyone's gone through it, where you're crying, this is when you're on your period, and I'll be sat there crying and lost for life. And he's like, "Are you on your period?" I was like, go away, and got really defensive. And he suggested, why don't you use a tracker, because it's not you all. It's because I felt this is who I was. I was
Mm.
a sad sack, I was like, life's hard. He's like, you're not like this all the time. He says, just track it. That was the game changer, because then I could see when I was on my juice cleanse. Honest, that was one of my biggest indicators. When I was on the juice cleanse, I noticed my mood was balanced. I got no headaches. I used to take a headache tablet every day, up
Wow.
until my even the odd time, but most even when I went vegan. But when I went raw vegan, I didn't take any headache tablets. I was always getting headaches, cramping. And then when I did the juice cleanse, all of that lifted. And what then I noticed was, at one point on my journey, maybe 2 or 3 years, because I've been 6 years raw now, I did notice they started to come back again, because I was bringing in more cashews, more nuts, and they were giving me headaches. So I noticed I can't overeat on those. So I was exploring that, and then that's when I found the omega 3s, the flax seeds, and that's now shifted. So it's tweaking. We can make raw work no matter what, and we have to understand it's not a linear process. I was always fixated on fruit is the best. Go fruitarian, but that never sat well with me all throughout. I felt, okay, I'm gonna do my best. I'm one of those. I'll give it a good shot, but there was too much resistance. So it
Mm.
might mean I just have to slow it down a bit, and maybe that is the ultimate goal. But right now in the journey, I'm not gonna force something. So when you're on this path, for those, just take it gradually. Look at the long
Mm.
term. Look at sustainability. We don't have to push and force. And I'm really flowing into this feminine frequency where there's a timing. There's always timing, and trust. Like back to, I didn't get those jobs because I was supposed to be in Thailand. I've created an organization with the animals, with the rescue, and I have my own business. So
Mm.
trust, and that's what I'm in now, just trusting this alone phase. And I always wanted this investment of a long-term partnership. They're not lasting too, like this is my main drive right now. Before it was always dogs and career, and it still is, still do my passions, but love is a priority for me. And I'm like, now I'm in that phase of okay, just trust it, trust it will come. So yeah, when we learn to surrender, and I've seen it in myself and others, clients, when that happens, you will enjoy life more and stop forcing. I think when
Mm.
we force, that's when you relapse, or you feel like you're going backwards, and because you're
Mm.
not taking the time to learn the lessons, throughout there's a process, as you know, Kiko. There's a process to this lifestyle, to living the best life, to feeling your best.
Yeah, for sure. And so you have been on this vegan journey since starting from 15 years ago, right? You had
Yeah.
gradually has started to change, and you have modified your raw vegan lifestyle since then, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, you left your family. You have been on your own since 16 years old, which is significant. And you have moved from all the way from England. You're originally from England, right?
Yeah.
To Phuket, um, Thailand, and you have been independent for 9 years living
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And what made you go to Thailand?
So it was actually I went traveling 15 years ago. I went backpacking with three of my friends, so four of us in total, and I was actually shocked to see so many dogs that was sick, abandoned. And
Yeah.
I always remember this one particular dog on one of the islands. She had no hair. She was all scabby, sore, a beautiful little thing. And she followed me from the market all the way to my hotel. I was feeding her and I just didn't know what to do. I was like, what? So I had to go back to the market and lose her. And that, even now, that chokes me because I'm like, oh my God, I wish I'd have helped this dog. So it's stuck. I've got such an affinity with dogs, empathy. It's like, it's unbelievable, you know, like, and animals. And so it makes sense me going vegan. You know, I've got this strong connection. And I just thought, how can I change that? How can somebody, when they see a sick dog, what do they do? So I started Googling and I found soy dog, but it was not until I got back home. I think I think it was when I got back to England after the trip. What do I do? And I can't remember if I tried to help. I don't think I did, but that always holds up. Ugh. So I was like, okay, Soy Dog Foundation, they're the biggest in Asia and they're based in Phuket. And I was like, okay, next year I'm going to volunteer. So I went for that's when I went for that 3 months. And that's
Mhm.
when I met James and he was the fruiter. Isn't it funny how it all like how it connects? And
Makes
he
sense after.
yeah, and then it was like I have to be here. Like I didn't know how to make that work.
Wow.
So for many years, that's why it took me so long because I was like, how do I? Because I didn't want to. There was a possibility of working with Soy Dog, but there was a part of me had this entrepreneurial spirit. So I was
Mm.
dipping into few projects and trying to figure out the online space and I couldn't quite figure out. It took some time. So that's why just trust if you want something, it is only time. If you really want it, it will happen. At the time, I was like, oh, why isn't it? I just want to get out there. So for a few years, I was back and forth coming to volunteer for Soy Dog and finding out how I can live out here. And then in 2016, I made this decision with my two dogs and my partner at the time. We come out and we had literally £2,000 in our pockets, and we brought the dogs, and we just made it. I mean, I am somebody that makes things happen. When I want, I'm very good at it, but I'm in a different frequency now, Kika. I'm in this space of, like I said, surrender, because that was hustle culture. I was very much in that. I look back now and I think I've shared this, like I was in my masculine. It got me far. It got me where I am now, and I'm super grateful. But I was in survival because I'd been on my own, and I'm still in this. Not so much as heavy now, but in fear all the time, like making sure like I've got to make things work, and there's a lot of pressure there. So I was never full. So I looked at the relationships I was attracting, and the thing how hard things were because I put a lot of pressure on myself, and because I didn't do well at school, I wasn't a high achiever, so I always felt I had to work really hard. I always remember I always got like best effort and determination. She's not quite, a few people would say, and it always stuck with me. She's probably not the smartest, but she'll out. And then I heard Will Smith say it, and so I like that really empowered me. I was like, yeah, I might not be the smart, but it's funny. Who says who's smart? What's that in
Yeah, what's the standard, right?
exactly? So when you look at all of these, how you can see why we're setting these boxes. And anyways, I just did everything I could, and it hadn't been easy. You know, I'd done a lot of work, a lot of hustling. I had, when I was in the UK, I had 3 or 4 jobs while I was at university. So I'm a mover, but it gets to a space now, and that's why I'm still raw and I'm still on this path, because it's so easy to. I've got this grit, but there's a different frequency now. It's more of, how do I want to move in my everyday life? I want to be more flow. I want to be more gentle, more kind. And I have this mother supportive nature. Bring that trust in. That mother nature will
Mm.
provide and look after me. So I'm learning to come out more of that survival. And I do feel the raw foods has amplified this next chapter for me, because I'm getting, like I say, it's this depth that I didn't like. Some people don't even understand what this level of frequency is about, or even what I'm talking about. But it's a level where, you know, there's more to you than just this ego, the mind, the low self.
Mm.
And these are things I was talking about in the past but couldn't quite articulate. And now it's becoming more clear that I'm not on this path to just gain things. I'm
Yeah.
here to find my heart and
Mm.
love, the love for myself, the true love, without these external things. Even what I contribute, it's beautiful, it's good. I'm always working through the heart, but it's really about coming to source, coming back to the truth. And this is my next mission. And raw foods are really helping me do that without suppression, because I do feel
Mm.
heavy, dense cooked foods hold me back. They suppress me. They numb me. And I wouldn't say, because I've had occasions where I've eaten cooked food, I haven't spiraled, because I'm intentional, because
Mm.
I'm doing the healing. I'm healing a lot of traumas through the work, and I am. Yeah, I honestly, hands down, feel it's the best way, not the only way, but I do feel it will nourish not only your body but your soul and your mind, and it'll bring that heart coherence together. It
Mm.
really helps you connect. So, because if you imagine, food is it's what makes us, you know, and what we're consuming. Is it dead, living foods? That's what's going to come and come out of us. You know, I
Mm.
always look at meat, the energetics of meat, that suffering, what the animal has gone through. I
Yeah.
can't know what anybody says. No animal wants to die. You can clearly see, even if you brought that animal up in a beautiful environment, to slit his throat, that's it's, we don't. It's not necessary. So I quickly switched on like these, because I did speak up a lot for vegan activism in the UK, and this is my form of activism as well, because I can't turn away from that truth. That is reality. We are
Mm.
exploiting animals to the extreme. They're actually then harming us. Karma, hey, you know, you think energetically we're taking on their
Yeah.
energy,
It's
and it's
all connected.
recycled.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all connected, and I really appreciate that all that work that you have done. But I also agree that you need your own space as well, because yeah, we need to have our sacred self to be able to give that, pour that love. You have, I can see, Tony, you have endless love to share and pour to others. And yeah, I wished, I hope that you continue to take a very good care of you.
Well, this is why it is important to take care. Like, I always use the analogy, if when you're on the plane, if the plane goes down, you put your oxygen mask on first.
Mm.
Then you take care of everybody else. I quickly realized that. So even though I did go through when I lost my 2 dogs that I brought over from England pretty quickly in 2017. They didn't live long out here. They were about 12, 13. I had one rescue and Cavalier King Charles, Henry and Molly. Oh, they were my babies. I went into a dark place, and I was just helping the dogs. I went to the government dog pound, and we
Mm.
got a lot of adoptions, but that took a lot of my health and energy, because there was some politics and things and drama.
Mm.
And I was like, I don't belong in drama, and I want peace. I want just love and
Mm.
compassion. So I had to step away and just focus on adoptions rather than volunteering, which was a godsend because I was just doing too much. I burnt myself out. So be careful when you are a giver. I was a people pleasing, coming from insecurity. I
Mm.
felt like I was always having to give, and I stopped taking care of myself. And raw foods really give that self-nourishment and self-love. So for me,
Mm.
not to use food in that way and eat the nourishing whole foods as much as I can it does give me that edge. I'm able still to do a lot of things, and still, but I'm very intentional this time. Where is it coming from? I'm very conscious. Like the level of awareness is now way higher than it's ever been. I'm checking in with myself a lot. Like, how am I feeling? How's my body reacting? And these are all things that were numbed when I was eating a heavy diet, because I had no path. I had no clarity. I didn't know what was going on. Now I have this clarity. I know where it comes from. And if something's off, then I check in, I take a step back, and I fast sometimes. Fasting is really healing for me. When I
Mm.
stop the body from digesting, even the raw foods, sometimes it's
Wow.
healthy to take a step back. If I feel any swollen glands coming up, anything, so usually for me, always start, and when you'll notice when anyone starts getting sick, it's usually from the glands. They'll feel it. It's very subtle, but people miss this, and I missed it when I was in Bangkok recently. It just shows you that I pushed myself. I was still doing things, and I should have rested. But I was in Bangkok with the girls. I was enjoying myself. But normally I would fast, a water fast for 24 hours. It would clear up. It would be fine the
Mm.
next day. I might feel a little bit like on the first day, swollen glands and maybe a little achy, but not. But because I've done the fast, or hydrating, if fasting's too much, it depends where you're at. I can do that now. Like it's even like my fitness, anything I pick up, everything's effortless because of my blood's oxygenated. You find out what raw foods do to your body.
Mm.
Like, I feel like still young. I've only just got into yoga, and I'm doing calisthenics. I'm not doing intense workouts anymore because I felt there's a period of your life where that it was good. I really aren't in that space anymore. I'm really, because a lot's coming up for me. Like I said, when you go into cleansing and you go into healing, I need to regulate the nervous system. Like I said, I was in masculine survival for many years. And now I'm
Mm.
coming into regulation. And this is the next phase
Mm.
of my chapter of just another self-care practice of really being conscious of how my energy is feeling. I'm so aware when I'm with people, where environments, how they're making me feel, how just going into shopping malls with all the stimulus and the perfumes, the toxicity. I'm like, oh, it's too intense. Like I can work with it now. First, when it hit me, because I'm living in nature most of the time, it's too much. But now I know how to regulate, and we can move through life. You don't have to, because I did get worried at one point. I was like, I'm so sensitive to all these chemicals, and if I eat something off my my raw plan, and I don't want to be one of these raw vegan weaklings and things. I was like, why am I not robust? Why am I not? So I stepped in. It's because you're just needing to work on the nervous system, retuning, refining that, and mine's, a lot of it is your mind. 80% of my work for me and with my clients is working on the, not the mind, the connection with the mind and body.
Mm.
And
Do you mind sharing your age?
40 and 41 in April.
Well, beautiful. You have taken care of yourself really well, obviously, inside out. But it's never ending, isn't it? Like
Yeah,
we would
yeah,
have to
it's,
continue.
and we shared, didn't we, on the health podcast, there's moments where you feel subjected to, the what's, Botox and all the fillers and all this airbrushed. And I just want to remain, I mean, this is good lighting, but I do have wrinkles, and some days I'm like, but this is empowerment. This is, if we can stay true to nature and our natural selves, embrace, you can reverse premature aging. I used to have
Mm.
really dark circles. I look back at pictures. Actually, I need to share those pictures. I've got some
Yes,
big
please.
dark
I mean, that's
circles.
amazing because that was how long ago? I'm just gonna get some water. So yeah, how long ago was it? That dark circle?
So that's been over the years, but I noticed definitely in the vegans when I went and did my cleanse, they were still there, or there were periods of time, because this is why you can't judge your journey. They might amplify certain areas. Like I felt like my skin wasn't so good at first when I was cleansing, but trust the process. And now yeah, most of the time now I never really have impurities. I feel my skin is the best it's ever been. My hair goes through periods, but that's pollution here and also the water. But for the most part, it's in good condition. And just the how my body moves. Like I do less, and I feel better than I used to feel. And it's I do. You don't have to kill yourself on this. That's what I love about this. I used to say all the time, you don't have to kill yourself anymore. You don't have to go because you've eaten all that unhealthy food or too much. You don't have to do that anymore. That's self-harm. That's punishment. And I didn't want to be in that frequency anymore. I didn't want to hurt myself anymore, abandon myself.
Mm,
When I was saying to you about the abandonment issues I had as a child or as I grow up, I felt alone. Where do I do that with me? Where are you? Where are you, as in those that are watching? Where are you abandoning yourself? So you might feel your story is about others, but what about your story with yourself? So I
mm,
really embodying that more and more now. Where am I still attacking myself? Where am I
mm,
still beating myself up in this and the words I use? Because remember, words are very powerful. They're like spells. We want to be conscious of how we speak
yeah.
to ourselves and to others. Like I don't get involved with any drama, gossip, because I look back on the connections I used to have and families. It was always about gossip and drama, something. I don't have any of that anymore. There's never no, oh, did you see what did? I just I don't have the TV on anymore. I don't watch news. I keep my energy protected now. And
So
it's
important.
and that's
Yeah.
what I think keeps us young. It's such a holistic
Mm,
view of it all. It ain't just your diet's one of the biggest foundations we can do, because that can really amplify so much, within not just your body, with your mind, your emotional well-being, spiritual well-being, but the whole package, meditation, daily practices that really nourish our soul, and that's been in nature. I have a great ebook that actually I go through my certain rituals that I do that anchor me, that give me that sense of when I'm feeling dark, when I'm feeling things are too much, these recenter me, and reset my whole
mm,
day before it spirals. Because we can go into, we wake up in a bad mood, and then it's just the rest of the day spiral, and then it's the next day, then the next day, and by you know it, you're eating crap for a month. I don't, because I have these anchors, these rituals that really center me. It's just been, it's been really nurturing, nourishing for my whole well-being.
that's great. And you talk about binge eating. What do you think helped you to come out of this binge eating?
I was already looking at ways, doing a lot of other work with addictions, so like affirmations, and there was different. I'd been to psychotherapy just because of trauma, and I was thinking that's where's the addictions coming from. But I would really say it was the food. Once I nourished my body at a deep cellular level, I would say the juice cleanse, but it took time. Like I was high raw for many years. I would I I can remember clearly. I remember freely saying, just eat to get over your binge eating, just eat as much fruit as you care for. Don't care how much. So she said it could take up to a year. And it was frightening for me because I was like restriction, overeating, and to just let go of that, to have these 10 banana smoothies. I mean, I don't do that now. I mean, I can sometimes, but I was just like, you know what? I just want to fill up on the good, healthy foods. And when I realized it's the sweet stuff I needed, our brains runs off glucose. I was like, I would honestly say the fruit transformed my sweet tooth. Like like nothing else. I ate so many bananas, so many fruits, even when sometimes it was like I had to be a little bit creative because it was cold in the UK. So I sometimes put the high-speed blender on and make it like warm. And this is what you can do. You know, there's many ways we can make this lifestyle work. And I would do mangoes. So it was like puree, like custard. And I would just have, and I'd just sprinkle all different, and I'd love to. And I was never, I'm not really into presentation. I am a little bit now, but now I like to have my glass jars and I like to see the fruits and the nuts and the seeds and the dried fruit. And I'll just put that on top. And I can honestly say, once I filled up with the good stuff, my body started to let go of the cravings for the unhealthy. So my body just naturally started to like heal, like it felt safe. And then I would say that was the start of it, but it wasn't in completion, I would say, until I did the juice cleanse, because I still had, because what I was doing was that's when I knew I can't go back to some cooked food, because when I was eating the cooked food, that trigger would come and I would overeat. So I was like, I was right, because I'm really good at writing and seeing how my emotions and my feelings are. So I was quick at pointing out, okay, I do feel called to raw, but I just didn't know when. And that when something negative happened in my life, or you'd argue if it was negative, it probably was not. It was an awakening. When I split with my ex, I was going through the breakthrough. I went on the 40-day juice cleanse, and that's when I stripped all the gunk. You know, I took out the mucoplaque came out. The biofilms, and I truly believed in all of that because of what happened to me. Because I know there's some skepticism on juice cleansing. I feel it has a place in our journey, in our healing journey. And it really did work for me, and I've worked with lots of clients and done juice cleanses, and it was not everyone's ready for it. I think there's a period of time when you just feel it's ready, you're ready. And I was just ready. And I just like, I'm never going back. And then, from there, because I got so intuitive with my eating, I just couldn't, with the fruits are key things for me now. So I always have it early. As in the first start of, I usually don't eat till around mid-morning, but I'll have a lot of fruit. And I'll have fruit again in smoothies, smoothie bowls, or whole fruits, mostly whole, smoothie bowls as well. And then I'm now happy with the salad. And I have let go of that cooked. I had that cooked. I couldn't wait for the cooked food at the end of the day when I was doing raw till 4. You've probably heard the term.
Of course.
That worked for me. That for me was great on my journey, because it helped me. One, I could eat during the day, the fruit, be disciplined with that, because I didn't have a lot of fruit options in the UK. It's like apples, oranges, and bananas, really. And then it was the cooked food but then I was like, when I question, like, why am I addicted to this? Can I drop it? I'm always looking at how can I drop things? How can I see how it would make me feel? Why am I doing it? Question, a critique. I think that's one thing I would say to everybody. Something is holding you back or is making you feel like addicted. When I'm addicted to something, I'm like, can I drop it? If I can't drop it, it's not healthy. If I can drop it and then introduce it back, then yeah. But so, because very odd occasion, I'll have some, we had the other day? It was cooked, but it wasn't like pumpkin, and I'll have that. But I'm like, am I bothered about it? I'll eat it when I'm at a friend's or whatever, but it's not something I would cook or do. You know, it's something that I would have here and there. So it's not like I'm going to go, because I know for me the best foods from what my body thrives on. So that was a game changer when I was able to stop that. You know, the
such a power,
whole new lease of life when you could stop binge eating. Yeah, I was like, this is a game changer. Wow. Because the amount of money you'd spend, the time you put in, the emotional investment, your emotions up and down. Nah, I don't ever want to go through that again. So I want to help others. And most people eat out of boredom, emotional eating, you know, some using food for comfort. And it has a place at times. you've got to recognize that it can help people in some ways, but long term, when we do things properly and slowly, there is a process. We can cut all of that out, and you'll be a whole different person in a way that you've never ever imagined.
Mm,
When you hold on to things so strong, like relationships, food,
mm,
anything that you really don't want to let go, but it's right. It's never easy. You always, what does Carl C say in his statement? You always, you basically cling on to something so hard because your body, it's what's familiar, but you never see what's good that's going to come of it, what you can't see. There's a really good quote. I must find it, because I did have it. I used to have it hung up on my wall, and I haven't got it on anymore. But I've said it that many times. I'm like, why am I not remembering this? But you can always measure what you'll lose, but you can't see what you'll gain. And it's like once you drop, like you want to keep familiar, and it's like any food, any breakup, whatever. We never look at what we're going to gain from this. It's so
mm.
true. When you close something, you open up. Like when you think
Always.
about what you can eat in the raw foods, like people are like, what can you eat? I remember one of my friends said to me, because I said, I don't drink, I ain't drunk for years. She said, well, what do you do then? What do I do? I said, sure, don't you go out? I said, I go out, but I don't need alcohol. I was shocked with that conversation. I was like, really? What do you do? I don't know if she was just saying that in jest or whatever, but I was like, there's many things I can do without alcohol. Like I go
Yeah.
hiking, I'm spending time with the dogs. I'm like, imagine what you can save. So yeah, all that money that was saved, because people say, have you got a lot of money then doing the dogs? Like, oh, they'll only help the dogs, or they'll wish they could do that if they had the money. And I'm like, I didn't have money. I literally obviously saved money because I stopped my binging, but I don't drink, I don't smoke. So I put all that and the time, because now I'm not numbing, I'm not wasting my energy. I'm putting that on others. I'm able to do
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah,
when you think
when
like that,
people drink alcohol or smoke cigarette or buy processed snacks, people don't realize how much you spend on those, and
yeah,
they never question you must be rich to do this.
I
I'm
know.
thinking, yeah, I'm thinking like the smoker, you must be so rich to do this.
Yeah, I can't think of anything worse to waste my money. And I'm like, you know what? I used to feel guilty in going for massages when I was in Thailand, because they're very cheap. Massages are super cheap. They're like 500, so $10. But I was like, I could treat or feed a dog for that. But now I'm like, okay, if this helps my health, if it's healthy for me, that's where you have to set some, like, that's for me. I went too far to the extreme. I was like, I couldn't even spend money on myself,
Mm,
So for me, good food, I'd rather spend money on good food to nourish my body, to nourish my mind, to nourish my soul, get the massages, work out, because one, it not only strengthens my mind, it does keep. I'm not weak, I can lift 30, 40, 50 pound dogs. I have to, and sometimes separate dogs. I have
wow.
to have the strength to shift dogs around, and when they're having fights and things, I can't be feeling tired, and I want to feel my best, and I
Mm,
rest when it's needed, but I'm very much on it, doing my work, and I feel called to do contribution, and that's where you can do that without, you have to be rich.
mm. Yeah, so you have been there for 9 years. You've got your own community. You've got friends in Phuket, and the social setting. I guess people know you already, and it's not so awkward anymore in the social setting.
No, and I'm quite a strong-minded, so when we meet with friends, it's always somewhere vegan, vegan restaurant. I very rarely go to a non-vegan restaurant, but I do, and if I do, I know, to fill up before that. There's things in place that you don't realize, like there's steps. Like my client said, well, what do you do? Well, I said sometimes I'll just eat before I go,
Mm.
or I'll call ahead. Or if they haven't, and there has been the odd occasion they haven't a boring salad. I mean, I'll eat that, but I'm like literally lettuce and cucumber. I'm like, okay, I might be a vegan, but
Punished. Yes.
I can't do that. But I'm just like, I'm not going to starve. I'm there to mingle, to be with
Mm.
people, to connect. So I don't look at it as I'm deprivation. I'm not going to start like there's worse people off who are hungry. I'm like, I can't like not have it. Like I don't feel awkward because I'm engaging. When people are sat there and they're I'm chatting. Do you know? I'm chatting with people, or I'm doing other like I'm speaking with the waiters. The wait, everything didn't have to be evolved around food either. So we're feeling like if you feel that, just don't do things with around food when you're first transitioning. There's ways, you know, there's lots of ways we can feel strong. So yeah, for me, community, and I'll still, do things where it's out where I do feel a little. Well, there was a restaurant that it had a hog's head. I was just, I'm never coming back there again. I didn't know that. I was like, there's certain things I will not like going to. So I tend to stick with the vegan restaurants because they've got a lot of raw, and also gatherings. You know, I do potlucks now and the vegan meetups, and they're all trying these dishes, and they love them. You know, so it inspires others, and even if you inspire them to eat more raw foods, you know, for me, it's yeah, and a lot of my gatherings now as well are with dogs, a lot of dog things, and I'm very much I don't do an awful lot in the sense of it's either dog gatherings, walking. I do a lot of activities with outdoor activities, so I don't really. I don't go drinking. I'm home. I like being home early. I love my early nights, early mornings. It's a lifestyle, and I do forget sometimes when you're in the dating space. They're trying to like, they're like, do you want to go out at 9 p.m.? I'm like, 9 p.m.? I'm like, I'm just getting ready for, I'm like, why did you help me? I'm like, oh my
Booty
God.
call, 9 p.m.
Yeah, no, some of them, but you know, like some do actually just go out and have a drink or whatever. I'm like, I'm not in that space. No, afternoons, we meet. I like to eat late, like usually my last meal 4 or 5 p.m. And not many
Me
people
too.
live like that. Yeah, really?
Yeah, me too.
And not many people do. So yes, I forget sometimes how, because this is so normal for me. It's not now until like I'm dating. I'm like, I see, different. Like it's you don't drink, you don't. I said I'll go out, but it has to be something. I like live music, but there's not a lot of that here. And even then, I'm like, I like to be home. I want to be home with my dog. I want to be out during the day, early mornings, maybe sunset. I love going out for sunset and then coming back home and be home by 8 p.m.
That's beautiful. My lifestyle as well. That's
Same,
how I
yeah.
love it too.
It's
Yeah.
natural, isn't it? If you think when the sun comes down, you want to, come down with the sun, relax and wind down. You don't want to be putting your digestive system under bed, and like you think when people eat so late, it's going to take so long to digest, and then it's heavy in the stomach, and then how you can sleep. Like no, 3 or 4 hours you need to be eating before sleep, so the body can give that time for digestion. No matter what you eat, really, even with the lighter foods, I want my
Yeah,
body to give it that time.
I totally agree. It's been over 1 hour. The time has passed so fast.
I can talk.
I can listen to you all day long. I fully enjoy listening to your story, and I just I just love you, Tony.
No,
You're amazing, and you are light to this world, and I'm just so honored to be your new friend. And I wanted to also let you talk, share your service. So you do coaching, right? Health coach, and then you have retreat coming up with
no,
Sky, right?
yeah.
So you want to, yeah, and you've got some books as well. So please share with the audience.
Yeah, so I offer one-on-one coaching from those that just want to reset, cleanse, even just get out of their addiction. Doesn't necessarily mean going to fully raw. I've got clients that are still, on this path. It's just more of as long as you're open to cleaning out, getting to reset the body, and that's what we work through. We work deeper than just the food aspect. We want to liberate ourselves and thrive, not just feel okay. We want to thrive, and I feel everyone has that ability. And yeah, so ebooks. I've got 4 ebooks, one free one. You get a freebie one. That's my 3-day green juice, and then there's my others. You get a bundle. You can do the bundle or buy them individually. And they help you on this path, so that's a great start. Juice cleanse as well. If you're interested in a juice cleanse, I have a juice cleanse ebook, and accelerate your weight loss. If you do want to lose weight, or if you just want to lose those last 10 pounds, I've got steps to help you on that path. But yeah, the retreat's coming up April 18 to the 24th of this year in Thailand, Phuket, with Sky. I'm really, and we've got a raw vegan chef coming from. He's Indian and he's based in Dubai, so he's coming from Dubai, and he's going to create all these gourmet raw vegan dishes, which I'm so excited.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and all the abundance of fruit, and we're going to have full 7 days of connection. We've got activities. We've got the dogs. They'll be meeting all the rescue dogs at the beach, and we're on the beach as well. So it's a nice environment for really nurturing the soul and getting some great anchors in to help us on this path. To move into this new idea. It's a great opportunity to do it because it's the coming out of Thailand's New Year. So we had our New Year, the Western. And then you've got your Chinese New Year, and then you've got the Thai New Year. So
I love it that you have reset so many months. Like
yeah. So basically, you're getting that that'll be where you're going to step into alchemy. You're going to be on it, and I feel it's a great opportunity to experience that. Yeah, that's all on my website, rawliciousyou.com.
yeah.
For more information on that. So I'm excited. There's
Yes.
not many spots. I think we're halfway through. Yeah, we've got about 5 more spots, I think. Yeah, left. So
Great. Yeah, take a look at Tony's website, and I have also linked Tony's Instagram, so you guys can follow, and you can go to her website through there as well. Whatever you do, Tony, it's very professional. I'm very impressed with all your YouTube contents, and the ebooks, and it's everything is so well done and professional. I was like, wow, that's
I
amazing.
would have said the opposite. Oh, thank you.
Oh yeah, I
Sometimes I
mean,
just do things off the. I say I'm not really a perfectionist as such. I
really.
do. Sometimes I'm like I like. Sometimes I can be. Sometimes I'm just like just get it out, get it done.
Wow.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I mean, I was thinking like, where does she find all this time? But you're in a good health and not drinking, not wasting time, and just
Yeah.
focusing what's important.
Yeah.
So that's
Thank
beautiful, all you do. And I thank you so much for your time to share your story. I was so inspiring. And yeah, I'm really honored to be connected, and I hope for people who have listened to this, you're inspired. Reach out to Tony, reach out to me if you need, if you like. We are always open, and she's got the service that could help what you're looking for. So
Thank you very
yes.
much. Thank you. My pleasure. It's been amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And yes, well, we are connected on Women's Health Podcast. You guys have it next week, tomorrow, actually,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I'm actually working, so I won't be able to join, but we'll be back again in different forms, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah.